Thank you. Thank you, Senator Stabenow, for thanking us, and good morning, all of you. Thank you for joining us today. I'm here as the chair of the Governor's Task Force on Women in Sports, and I have served as the chair of the task force for the last several years. It was established in 2019 by Governor Gretchen Whitmer to develop strategies to support and promote opportunities in the state for girls and women in sports. So as chair of the task force, I'm proud to be joined here with some of our members, our advisory board members, our staff, and some supporters. They include Penny Allen Cook, who is the outgoing commissioner of the Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association. I believe Coach Casey has joined us, Dwayne Casey of the Pistons. Thanks, Coach, for being here. Carolyn Casson of Michigan Women Forward, Sarah Daring, an island native, but also the athletic director at Elma College, Jennifer Granger, philanthropist, Mia Hamm, the two-time Olympic gold medal winning soccer player, thank you, Mia, for being here, Dr. Michelle Lewis-Watts, who's been the executive director of the task force, State Representative Mari Manoogian, who's joined us, Alanna Myers-Taylor, a dear friend and Olympic bobsledder and world champion, and a mom, Jenna Schroeder, a referee with the National Basketball Association, Meg Singh, the athletic director at Green Hills School, Erica Swilley, vice president at the Detroit Pistons and a great community leader. And I believe Arn Tellem is right around here. He is joining us as well, the vice chairman of the Detroit Pistons and a great ally and friend for women in sports. Welcome, Arn. So these are just some of the leaders who we've been working with over the last several years to research the power of women in sports and the inequities and opportunities for women in Michigan. The governor asked me to chair this task force in 2019 when we were first elected, out of the recognition that when you have women leading, oftentimes it's because they've played sports. In other words, opportunities for women to work and play sports and have access to athletic opportunities often translates into more women leaders in every industry. And we know also that women and girls build stronger, more successful teams and organizations and gain skills that benefit them and everyone when they move into those leadership roles in all of society. So we believe it's critical for women and girls in Michigan to be provided what they deserve: high quality, equitable opportunities to participate in sports as athletes, coaches, administrators, and executives. Among the findings of the task force, which we're releasing today, during our last 3 years, where we've met to review and commission our own research, we've heard testimony, we've written a fact-based, data-driven set of recommendations for the governors, and among those findings are 3 recommendations which we share with the governor today, and we plan to release the full report with additional recommendations later this month in recognition of the 50th anniversary of Title IX at the federal level. On that note, our first recommendation is that Michigan modernize and expand upon federal Title IX regulations and policies with increased sports-specific protections, compliance, and accountability. We found many instances in which accountability was an issue with the federal protections and recognized that in some cases states can step up and lead and provide that accountability and additional protections. Title IX was passed in 1972. It was a landmark federal law that prohibited gender discrimination in educational programs and activities receiving federal financial assistance. And while certainly girls and women have made great advances in the last 50 years since the law was passed, our research revealed that Title IX has fallen short in achieving its stated goals of equity in numerous ways, and that in particular, girls of color and those of lower socioeconomic status are particularly disadvantaged. So our task force is recommending that law, policy, training, and monitoring should all be brought to bear to increase transparency and accountability in enforcement of Title IX in Michigan. Our second series of recommendations recognizes that we must invest in talent, and that the state's investing in talent and leadership pathways that explicitly support the growth of women and girls in and through sports can yield opportunities for every resident in our state. In particular, we found that women were underrepresented as staff and athletes of professional sports teams and in sports leadership at colleges and universities. We have many colleges like Elma College that's leading the way, and we have many professional teams like the Pistons, the Detroit Pistons, which is really a national leader for advancing opportunities for women, for all, and for really serving the community. And in recognition of that, we've got a lot of opportunities to work with existing leadership in our state to provide numerous additional opportunities for girls to play sports and develop as athletes, as well as address gender bias discrimination, whether it be establishing internships, mentoring opportunities, increasing the visibility of candidates for leadership positions, or preparing women to interview. Several approaches have been talked about and will be discussed further in our full report of how the business community in particular can work together to advance opportunities for women in sports. Additionally, college presidents, school principals, athletic directors, and other hiring managers need to increase their gender bias awareness and take action to eliminate it. Our final recommendations that we're releasing in later this month circulate around the recognition that for Michigan to engage the public, youth sports, and business communities to really advance opportunities for women to play and work in sports, it requires providing more opportunities, in particular that the state seek public, individual, and business funding to support implementation of opportunities. We looked and are recommending things like the creation of a professional women's sports team in our state. We once had one in the WNBA, would like to see that return, or would like to see the elevation of a women's sports soccer team that we already have in Detroit be elevated to be a professional women's sports team as part of the National League for the National Women's Soccer League. So our recommendations will detail how we believe that programs and organizations can work together to bring more opportunities for women to play and work in sports, and we'll release those recommendations in our task force's full report later this month. In the meanwhile, there's a couple of special supporters for the task force that are here with us today who have led the way throughout their lives, showing that women can play, can lead, and can really change the world through sports. First, I'd like to introduce Mia Hamm, who's here to say a few words. If you'd like to go first, Mia. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. As was said, this is the 50th anniversary of Title IX. I was born in 1972, so that makes me 30. But what I love about what's happening here today is the conversation. I think a lot of the times we kind of look at our landscape and we just assume things are equal. We see girls playing, we see women senators, we see potential women running for president, and we think all is good in the world. But there's a lot that has to happen. And the fact that we have strong leadership like you behind me that are continuing to advocate every single day for my daughters I am incredibly grateful. One of the things that I have learned about life is about people. And I wouldn't have learned that without Title IX. Being able to go to the University of North Carolina. One, I wouldn't have been able to get in on my own, but I wouldn't have been able to afford it either. So to have the opportunity to grow as a person, to grow as a student, to take those life lessons from the soccer field and apply them to my interaction with people every single day has made a difference. And so I think we need to continue to have the conversation of how we can make it better, how we can cast a wider net and bring more girls in. And that's not just women doing that. We need men standing shoulder to shoulder with us. And you see it more at our stadium, Angel City Football Club. I'm one of the owners. And you see brothers coming to the games with their sisters, dads with their daughters on their shoulders. And I think setting that example for each other is incredibly important as we move forward. And just real quick, we had this conversation with myself, Julie Foudy, Abby Wambach, about where we want to see ourselves moving forward. And we were talking about, we always said we wanted a seat at the table. And we do, but Abby stepped forward and she goes, you know what? I want to own the frickin' table. And you're seeing that now. You're seeing that with Angel City. We have the largest female ownership group in the league. And I think having those voices be heard and those experiences shared is incredibly important. So I thank you for your time. I want to give a big shout out to two of my incredible teammates from the national team who are from this great state of Michigan, and Lindsay Tarpley Snow, who scored our first goal in the Olympic gold medal final in 2004, and Kate Sobrero Markgraf, who was from Bloomfield Hills and is now every single day advocating for the U.S. women's national team. She is their general manager, incredible leader for us. And in that breath, what the women's national team has done with that incredible, historic equal pay fight that was just solved, I think they signed it last month, that basically gives them the same accommodations, field, hotel, airfare, but also game day appearance fees and bonuses, is due to their perseverance, their courage, but also the incredible foresight and understanding from the current U.S. Soccer president, and that's Cindy Parlow-Cone, who is a teammate of mine, who did this because it's the right thing to do. So I appreciate you all being here. I'm excited to introduce Alanna Myers-Taylor. Come on up here.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me back to Michigan. Believe it or not, although I've known for a bobsledder, I got my professional athletic start right here in Michigan, Midland, Michigan. I played professional softball for the Michigan Ice in 2007. During that experience, it really showed me what's possible for women athletics. You know, being in that stadium night after night and seeing little girls coming up to us, asking us to autograph balls and being there with their friends, family, it really showed me what's possible, especially in the state of Michigan. It was an honor to get my professional start here, and obviously I've been able to go forward since then. But I was fortunate to play softball all growing up, all in college, and much like Mia, softball gave me the opportunity to pursue a college education. There is very little chance I could have afforded a college education without a softball scholarship. And that's how much Title IX means. It's not only the opportunity to pursue sport at the next level, but it also grants us many educational opportunities as well that can be pathways to change our lives. And although we're here to talk about Title IX, I think also it's important to recognize that Title IX has done tremendous things for women in sports. But there's still very marginalized communities, people who look like me, who are not able to reap the full benefits of Title IX. Which is why I'm so grateful that the Women's Task Force is looking into those issues and really making positive changes to address them. You know, Michigan has very talented female athletes, and it's important that they have the opportunities to move forward and pursue their athletic dreams. And hopefully, one day Michigan will have a professional softball team again. I don't even know if there's still a league, but you know, maybe Michigan can lead the way. And we'll have many more girls pursuing professional opportunities within the state. So it's an honor and privilege to speak with you guys today. And I'm really excited to see what the task force is going to do moving forward, especially for communities and populations who look like me. So thank you for your work.
Thank you both for being here, and really thank you all for putting in the work over the last several years. I'm really proud of the research and the data-driven solutions that we'll be recommending. I think it all just gets down to we can be doing more, and we should do more, and that doing more will require a lot of teamwork. It's not just what the government can do, it's what all of us can do together to create opportunities for everyone to succeed and lead in our great state. So with that, happy to take a few questions, and thank you all again for being here. All right, seeing no questions, we'll take it. I'll also just mention we'll be again on June 22nd having a larger program with the full release of the report, so stay tuned for that. We've got the executive summary available for everyone here today. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. Thanks.